Hey, buddy.
You come on.
Hey, dog.
Oh, and I got this. I put a brick on a board for counterweight because I didn't want the wind to blow it back,
Sure.
and that would, you know, because the juice would spill out and then it would leak all over the inside and make a big mess. You know, so I put a counterweight on there to keep it balanced out.
Yep.
And that worked out really well.
So what got you moving on this? Because I don't remember if you ever mentioned it.
The backstory is, long time ago, years ago, I saw an article on Mother Earth News about solar cookers,
Sure.
and they had made one from a galvanized wash tub that they found. You know, to show that you could make a solar cooker out of secondhand material. Well, I actually went and bought a galvanized thing and tried to make one, and it was my first attempt at it, and it just didn't work out. And I mounted it on this lawnmower frame because we happened to have one. The lawnmower was bad. I took the motor off and chucked it. And put it together, and I had the thing for years, thinking someday I'm going to make it work, and I never really did. And I got a friend who lives up there. Hey.
Oh, this one car's full. Okay, well that was rough. Fortunately, I got a little. It's a phone holder. There should be my old phone, and that one's already running, so we can run that around. But this will be my close-up.
He grows a lot of his own food. He's kind of he's not a doomsday prepper, but one of those off-grid guys, you know, to some degree.
Sure.
He's getting solar set up. And I keep telling him, you got to get a solar cooker. And he says, I don't think I'll ever use it. I said, yeah, you will. Once you get started, you see, it fits right in to everything that you're doing, and the way you think, and the way you work, what you're doing with your life. And I had saved this cardboard box for another guy who has got a garage full of barbecuers and all kinds of stuff like that. And I thought, well, and I told him about it on the holidays. I saw him. I said, do you use solar cookers? He said, they really work. I said, yeah. So we started making one, me and Chris. And as time went on, I realized that my friend up in Lindstrom, with the orchard, his own orchard and stuff on his property, probably be a better match for that guy. So I started to work on it, and next thing you know, I worked on it a little bit as I went along, and then I set it aside and come back to it the next day. And finally, I decided it was taking up space because we don't have a basement here. Yeah. So I pull it into the house and then push it out in the morning, you know, and they're trying to move in there with the wheelchairs and everything. It was just in the way, and I decided it's time to get it going. So I took the galvanized, pan off of it, and that's actually in the front. And I put this cardboard box on there instead. It's a combination of cardboard, wood glue, and the hinges. The hinge setup that was on there is the same. I just screwed and glued down a piece of plywood. Wood glued the box on top of it. It's double layered. It's about yay thick. And it's just insulated with wads of paper, which I jammed in there really tight, which is why it bulges out. Painted it black. It feels like there might be moisture in there, so it's been a bit of an experiment.
Oh yeah, they all are.
Yeah, I don't know how well it'll hold up in the long run. You can see it's steaming, so it's cooking like a madman in there.
Oh man!
I imagine that chicken's probably done. It's right around 400. Oh, it's a little under that. I've never had a cooker get this hot before, so I'm just going to go ahead and take it out of there. So you can see how thick this is about as hot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, you can smell that. Yep. So I'm definitely going to have to come up with a different liner because the plastic melted.
Yeah, I
You
can
see
smell a
here.
little bit of that. Oh, wow. Woo.
Which,
Yeah.
again, it was an experiment, so I don't really care. I mean, I can always just glue on. I get some high temperature glue or some damn
Sure.
thing and put some tin foil.
They're just, yeah, aluminum foil with a wood glue, actually.
I use wood glue with my wood carving projects all the time.
Yeah.
I love wood glue. It's brutally strong. I've got to come up with a better platform. That's just a piece of wood. I cut a chunk off with a saw this morning, a hand saw. I'm going to get a oven mitt. We'll take that. It's been in there probably an hour. I don't know. I fell asleep, so I'm not really sure how long it's been in there. Maria had bought this pan for me at Aldi. Great for solar cooking. I mean, it's black, it's ceramic, it's awesome. It just wouldn't fit in there. The handle was a little too long, so I took the chicken out of there and transferred it over to the ceramic board. So and when I finish it up, I like to give all the metal and everything another coat of good Rust-Oleum and clean it up. It was outside in the shed.
I'll have to share with you my visit with Craig Shearer up in Saskatchewan.
I did watch the clip you sent.
Oh, did I send you that?
Yeah,
okay, good.
It was just a clip, though. It wasn't the...
I was like, oh, not the 5. I got 5 minutes of him on the patio where it's on the lawnmower.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw that.
Was it the whole 5 minutes?
I think so. It was
Okay,
like 5
okay.
minutes, 41 seconds.
Yeah. I told him you should call it the sun mower.
Yeah, right. That'd be appropriate. If I can get this out of here without... I'm going to need two 400 degrees. I smell barbecue. Let's take we'll move it to the table over behind you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Untie it in. The wind is not blowing terribly bad anymore. Wasn't really set up. I wasn't thinking so much. I should have put it down in the driveway. It would have been a better place for it.
Oh, that's fine. And how long has it been in there?
I think over an hour, but I'm not sure. I fell asleep. I put that microwave pizza in there, which tasted like the cardboard it came in. But I just did that to test it out, and it worked fantastic. Then that was about noon. It's about 12:15.
Sure.
I took it out, and it's probably been in there since 12:15. So I don't know what time it is exactly right now. But yeah, look at that, it burned. I put a piece. The one thing I've done with these is I put a piece of paper towel in there to kind of soak up extra, and I've never had a problem with it. It's never stuck to the food, or it's never been an issue.
No, you got to get up to the charring range at the bottom for that to do. I mean, and as long as liquid's there, like they say, it's the liquid's never going to get above 212, the boiling, and then it steams off. And the chicken is full of water. If that's one that's like they brine them or something, you know, that's going to stay there until you don't see steam coming out of there, and then you go, oh, you got to get out because it's dried up.
One of the tricks I've learned is I mean, you got a lot more experience with this, but all my other solar cookers is when I see steam on the glass, it's a good time to get it out of there.
Yes.
And this is, like I said, I was lazy. We were watching wrestling in there, and I fell asleep, and so I haven't really been paying attention. I go on YouTube, so we got to watch our language here.
Yeah, you
so you saw me put it in there.
Wow.
He's new to solar cooking.
Came out crisp.
I've never had an oven that actually cooked and browned and burned like that before. This is the first time I've seen that.
Yeah, most gas and electric ranges, they can be powerful, but they'll be inconsistent. You know, it's like it can be like really hot in the back where the gas is really feeding up the heat, and then in front it'll be like 250 versus 450. You know, and you just got to kind of take the average or mess around with putting those out all around to really be sure. So at least this, you know, you got it sealed up, so it's going to hold that temperature, and you got a small enough box to fit in a decent pot, but not so much that you're heating a whole lot of air. You know, so I'm thinking this is, you know, that's a winner of a design. That's the way it goes, you know.
It's You know, I guess, as you know, solar cooking is not rocket science.
No.
Get the inside hot, it cooks.
Yep.
And I've heard people, I think I read about it somewhere on the internet as well. Wouldn't it be better if I really invested some high quality material, like some real wood mirrors, and well, it'd be more durable, but I don't know if once it's up to 400 degrees, it's 400 degrees regardless of what it's made out of. You know?
You know, if you got a place to put it away from the elements, cardboard, that'll last for years if you don't.
I got it.
You know?
I got a good coat of paint on it. I got to finish the painting.
Yep.
I thought I'd finish painting the base of it. And I just and this tarp here that the dog's sniffing, I actually wrapped around it at night. That kept it good.
Sure.
So, like I said, my friend. Oh, now that we don't have anything in it, this is how I went and bought a screw hook,
Sure.
and I just changed the length.
There we go.
And I don't know if you got a shot of that counterweight over here. Which
Yeah,
is,
yeah, you did, but I'll get another one now that you're.
which is just a brick that was laying around out here.
Yeah.
And I wood glued it on there, and I figured it would hold because it's a porous material and it's really strong on it.
Yep.
Wood glue everywhere throughout the entire thing.
Yep.
And here, this
This I gotta get
the string, I came up with this just this morning, and I didn't know what I was going to use, and I just glanced over at that moment and saw this old string in the corner.
Yep.
And I came up with this, and it's worked really well, so I'm happy with that.
Yep. That's actually the sunspot. They use you know, like those little keychain
Yes.
metals where it's just little balls, little tiny balls, and then they do that across just like that. So you've basically done what, and that's like supposed to be a demo model. It's just a cardboard box, and put it at 350 or 400 with the right, really good direct sun, and that's just a one cardboard box thickness. So
we got a screen door on Craigslist, and the lady that gave it to us had the box, and I said, hold on to the box, because I knew right away what I was going to do with it. And you can see how I got this here.
yeah,
The Velcro. It's not rocket science. It's held up.
yep. Oh yeah.
And then it folds up real haphazardly. It wasn't real well designed, but who cares, you know?
Yeah, yeah. You got space for it, and yeah.
Yeah, I am definitely going to have to come up with something better than this, though, because that's all melted.
Yeah. What is it, and that's just cardboard underneath it?
Yep,
Okay, yeah.
cardboard and wood glue.
Yeah.
Another thing I was wondering about now, I went to the hardware store and I asked them if they had anything non-toxic. Tropical fish was my biggest hobby for a number of years, so I thought of silicone right away.
Yeah.
I asked the guy, he said, you got anything non-toxic? And he didn't even know.
Yeah.
And I knew what I was looking for, so I actually found a product on their shelf they didn't know that they had. Silicone rubber, you look for something non-toxic, it'll say on there, safe for aquarium fish.
Yeah.
And if it's safe for fish, and that's what I bought, and I glued it together, and I don't see that it.
No, it's Sun Oven, the Sun Oven company. That's what they use. It's just regular silicone.
And I didn't know that it was going to work until now, until you told me that too. I didn't know.
And the trick to putting it on, Barbara Kerr, who has the through the wall oven, she says just put it on thick. And she said the trouble is in Arizona, where she put her through the wall oven, she had to put a bowl of water in the cooker because it needs humidity to set. Otherwise, it'll just sit there and be tacky for a year in Arizona because there's no humidity. So, but you put a bowl in there, and then that steams it up, and then it sets about as fast as up here where we got average.
Right. I left the door off, and I let it check the weather. As you know, you get into solar cooking, you start to get real tuned into the weather.
Yes.
And I tuned into it, and then the weather said no rain during the night for a couple of nights, so I just left it sit out here and dry. And today, so I don't know who's going to be watching the video, but today was its first run. I did, like I said, I did one of those cheap microwave pizzas, and again.
Well, and if that was less than 2 hours. right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean
That was,
that's
I put. Do you remember, Jay? I was about 12. It was about 12, 15 when I took that
sure.
microwave thing out of there,
Yep.
and that just heats. Well,
And it's 2 o'clock now, or 2:05, and I got here 10 minutes ago when you first showed me the steaming, and it was obviously already at that stage. So
I was thinking about getting up and checking it, and I was just being lazy. I was watching wrestling, and I fell asleep, and I just thought, well, you know, it's out there. I have yet to see, besides a parabolic cooker, I haven't seen a box cooker burn.
Yeah.
Like this is the first time I've seen that, and this is junk. And I mean, literally, this is literally junk.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I paid for was the reflective tape,
Yeah.
the Velcro tape, the wood I found out in the shed. It was there when we moved into the house. I bought the.
That's on there good and fast. That's not moving, and that's been at.
The corners were kind of coming apart a bit because this is the exact box size. I cut and changed the shapes and the dimensions a little bit here and there.
Sure.
I just put some duct tape on there. I paid for the glass. I paid for the silicone. I paid for and the reflective tape, which I'm going to have to change on the inside.
Yeah.
And then a little can of black paint.
Yeah.
The rest is just junk. I think I may have bought this some time ago, and it sat out in the shed for so long. There's some, you know, water and whatnot. Part of the fun for it, for me, has been in experimenting around with it.
Yeah.
Clearly, that tape on the inside is not going to work so good.
Yeah, that's for like hot furnace ducts, but you'd think with furnaces they get really high heat, but they're not. You know, by the time they're 3-4 feet away from the main blast part of it, they're probably at the 250, 300 range because it's just heating air for comfort. It's not heating to cook. So
yeah, I looked at it, I thought, what's going on here? And then I came back out a little while later. I said, I see what's going on.
Oh, as soon as you open the door, I'm going, whew, okay. And I mean, eventually it would all melt, but you'd be, if you swap it out for just aluminum foil and wood glue.
Yeah, I'll get some sandpaper and scrape it out of there. And I also like to come up with a better platform. I have plans to do that. I just, you know, I was thinking I'd take a piece of that wood actually and put it on the table saw, cut some angles on the bottom of the board. Yeah. So that it'll. And then and then you want to, you know, it won't really slide around in there. But what you don't want is I made a solar cooker out of a box once and it never got this hot. And I suspect that the heat is directly due to this massive, you know.
You get a little more sun. Yep.
But it had some reflectors and a piece of saran wrap for a window. And it got up to, you know, easily to cooking temperatures. And I found out the hard way, if your food spills, the juices soak into and then it wrecks it. It stinks, and you know, and then you clean it up thinking, well, it's nice and clean, and then the next time you cook, it warms it up, and you can smell it in there again, and it's moldy, and it just wrecks it. So, yeah, definitely you need some kind of platform, and I've seen the kind that are on hinges, are like they pivot, you know. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to go to that extent.
No, it's.
But yeah, I don't know if you got a shot of that yet, but I went to the hardware store. I got a lot of money in this. The chain was left over from the original project that it just didn't work out.
Sure.
What I did.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even have to cut the board. I found the board just laying around someplace.
Yep.
Glued it on there, screwed it on there. I said I got some more painting to do. I'll probably give it another coat of paint here and there.
Yeah, and this thing's what, 3-4 pounds max, and then you, apart from the brick, of course, which is which does its job.
Right. Yeah. That's the first thing, because that actually happened. I had it out. I hadn't tried cooking anything in it, but the wind blew and it tilted back because, you know, the chain is kind of pulling it. It was like teetering on that. Yeah. Forward or back. I knew I had to come up with something. Yeah. And I'm thinking about a bungee cord, and finally I just thought, well, what about a weight? And I had a piece of wood. I didn't even have to cut it. Like I said, I just found it kicking around. I didn't do anything to it, but glued it on there, screwed it on there. Yep. and I found a brick. I think it was down there in that pile of junk over there. And I just glued it on there with wood glue and
Sure.
black paint. But yeah, we can demonstrate.
Yeah. Put it in
Again,
place.
I wasn't thinking about anything precision. There's nothing precision here. I just got some, what's this, some water.
Oh,
That's all right.
that's not much.
I just got like some duct tape, and besides the fact that it melted inside the oven, which does not surprise me at all.
No.
I love this reflective stuff. I've used it several times at solar pits. I just love using that stuff. It works.
You see,
great.
you don't need much of a layer, and it's perfectly shiny. And then they just put the ink there for the banding, and that's not going to reduce. You know, what's that? 2% of the surface area, maybe.
So I just kind of slammed
Yeah.
it together. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
I do like crafting things. I do like wood carving and such, and I can do better work than this. But I made it all out of secondhand stuff. I didn't really care. My idea was just to get it to a point where it worked, and it worked good.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about aesthetics so much. I mean,
Yeah.
if I was, I could have made a good plywood box and stained it, and,
Yeah.
you know, come up with all. And I honestly, in the future, I would like to do that. Make a nice one from plywood with good BCX, one good side on the outside.
Mhm.
Put some molding on there, maybe wood carve a sun, and, you know, get fancy
Yeah.
with it. But
Yeah.
for a guy who says he'll never use it, I think he'll change his mind. This will work.
Yeah.
So this, you can see the, I don't know how well that's on. You can see that, but there's Velcro here. And
Yep.
so it just came out here by myself, and I just kind of stuck down in there. I wasn't real, like I said, no science, no rocket science here.
Mhm.
I just kind of jammed it in there, kind of haphazardly. I wasn't real specific about anything. And when I give this to my friend, he keeps saying he don't think he'd ever use one. So I wanted to make sure I gave him an oven that's going to give him results,
Well,
so he would change his mind. You know,
Nothing like impressive. I mean, 400 people. Everyone I know that makes a box cooker, they're over the moon when they hit 400 because there's no argument at that point. And 300, you're good to go. Cook anytime. You're just gonna let it cook, all afternoon. But 400, well, yeah. What did we measure? What, hour and a half, hour 50 minutes at the most, and you got a meal there. For 2-3 people if you want.
well,
You can put that much in.
I put this out with the a microwave pizza in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it in the second. I'll show it to you actually.
Sure.
I don't know what you call this thing, but they use them in India.
Yeah.
There's a name for it. And they usually make them ceramic. And I saw this. I was looking for a silicone, black silicone.
Yep.
Food grade silicone.
Yep.
Orca, and I saw this just kind of somewhere on the internet. I don't even remember where it was. Probably eBay.
Yeah.
And I snatched it up, and I dropped that microwave pizza in there, and I had it in there. I came out, and I was just kind of playing around with it, setting up the reflector. I put the microwave pizza in there, closed the door, put the thermometer in there, and then I found the string in the corner, and I started coming up with this string. And in the time that I had that string in there, it was just under 350.
Yeah.
And no doubt it's because of the reflector. And it's not like, wow, this is so impressive, what a wonderful design. It's a box with a big reflector, is all it is. So I was really happy with, here I'll give you, here's what I was out here earlier, and here's the problems I was running into before you were here and the camera wasn't rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Watch what happens to the reflector.
Oh yeah, that's where. Yeah.
So I knew I had to come up with something.
Yeah.
Like I said, I saw the string and there was these little plastic gadgets on there.
Oh,
I
sure.
thought, well, how perfect is that? So I just took a pair of scissors and I cut a slit somewhere in there randomly. I didn't measure it or nothing.
Oh sure.
I'll probably back it up with a little duct tape to it so it doesn't.
Yeah. Or even like a little glue in a washer.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I stretched that across, and then I got the other one. somewhere here. I got it in my pocket.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing on the other side.
Oh yeah, yeah. That way, either side, if it the wind tries to blow it in or pucker it out too far, you got it all 4 directions. Yeah.
I made a cardboard template with a 67-degree angle on it. I wrote that on there with a marker, and I wrote, "Do not throw this away." So if someone else finds it, they don't accidentally think it's garbage. And I just kind of wedge it in there. Just how accurate it is questionable. I mean, it gets blown around, but like I said earlier, it actually got blown so hard that the whole thing rolled across the deck, hit the rail over here.
Yeah.
It hit the rail, and it held up. So it's holding up to the wind pretty good.
Sure.
The box feels, I don't know if there's moisture. I don't know what's going on there. So
It might be what moisture was in there, because there'll always be some. Like you know this from woodworking. I got one of those tools, the 2 prick things that have the moisture content, because I cut down a walnut tree and it had to get below 8% or something like that. So every few months I test it until it got down below 8%. Then I started sawing it up.
I don't have one, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because there'll always be some moisture in there. I mean, if you got all the moisture out, it'd be powder. You know, so yeah.
But yeah, and I just piece of wood that was laying around, and just at the last second, I just there's 2 schools of thought that I know you're familiar with. One says make the interior of the cooker black to absorb the heat, but the argument there against that is, if the interior is black, then you're heating the oven itself rather than the food.
Yeah.
The other school, I think, was in the Halsey. What's that? In their book, Dan Halsey.
Yeah, Beth and Dan Halsey. Yeah.
I read their book, and they said the other school of thought is make sure that the light reflects around until it hits the black cook surface, and that's the one that I go with the most. So I'll tell them to come get it. I don't know. What I'm going to tell them is come get it, or I'm going to bring it up there and drop it off on your doorstep. But the last time I talked to him about that, he seemed finally a little bit more interested.
Sure.
But yeah, that's it. I do have, like I said, I got a little more tweaking to do here and there.
Yep.
I'll paint. Now this is just several layers of cardboard glued together.
Yeah.
Covered with wood glue, and it's nice and strong. It needs a coat of paint.
Sure.
There's gaps around the side. So what I'm thinking about doing is taking this to my bandsaw at home, cutting that off, making it, because it doesn't go all the way in. Stop here.
Sure.
So it sticks out a little bit. I cut that off, glue another piece of cardboard on there. Once that's dry, cover it with some foil or something that doesn't melt.
Yep.
And then make sure that it slides all the way in, and then take a piece of cardboard and glue it all the way around the edge to help seal that heat from the escaping. But it again, I was thinking insulation here.
Yep.
Just kind of whack it in place. It's not rocket science.
Well, one observation, I know that some have made the point that, like, when you get the sun oven, they've got the wood thing where the glass rests on it, and then that's the barrier between the metal flashing and the insulation, and then it's kind of a fiberglass or an ABS plastic box.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, so the idea being you don't want to have metal going back to a metal tub, because then that'll draw a lot of the heat out. I don't think it matters, because you've got it where it cinches up, where it's cardboard to cardboard. But maybe if the tape were like right up to the edge where this hits, but no further this way, it's like there's probably a ½ inch into the open area. But it's not conducting it outside, so I don't think it should matter. But when you open the door and went to get the oven mitts, I looked inside and it still said 350 after like a minute or two before you wanted to get the mitts. So it obviously had, that was, that's 30, 40 degrees that could be lost just from air finally getting in there and displacing it. So most definitely.
So I don't know what you're going to do with the video, but anyone watching this, this is the demo run. This is the first time I've ever used it, and considering that the chicken actually got some burning,
that is just
still steaming. So,
that's the proof in the end.
Yep.
Did it cook? Yes. Did it cook well? Very well.
Yeah.
That's enough proof for me.
So what I did is so the procedure was I set up the reflector, which was being knocked all over the place, I put a black cooker over there, the pot in there, with a microwave pizza as a test, closed it, rigged up the string, which I found just on a whim laying over there. And in that short time, and it wasn't very long, for 10 minutes maybe, probably less than that, I had the string rigged up, and it already hit 350. Yeah. I've never had a cooker, any of my commercial cookers hit 350. I had one hit 300. I always cook at 250, 200. I keep it around there. That's usually where I cook. I guess like I said, I'll clean it up. It's a bit of a mess. I'll change the reflective material on the inside, finish painting it, clean it up, wash it. It's the more frame is dirty and old. I'll probably hit that with some spray paint. Just tighten up, reel in the slack a little bit, tighten up loose ends. But yeah, for secondhand junk, you can do a lot with secondhand junk that you
obtainium.
Yep, right. Yeah, I'm going to do some reinforcing here. You can see that it kind of it's just so wobbly old box. I can't remember what came in it. It's something that Google delivered, Amazon delivered something.
Is that all one big thick sheet of cardboard from a box, or is it a bunch of layered together, glued together?
It's a cardboard box. I had to make some changes to it. And then a smaller cardboard box on the inside.
Sure.
And then wads of paper. I don't know why, probably newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is newspaper now that I think about it. So, pretty good, I think, for a bunch of secondhand junk and very little investment.
Yep. I mean, shoot, you could put something else in there and keep cooking. If you got another at least 4 hours of sun, you could do 2 more meals. Yeah, and the way you got it set up, where it could go straight to when the sun's at the horizon.
Like I said, my friend, he just said, I'll never use one. And as long as it works as well as it does, I think I'll be fine with it. As I got towards the end of it, I was just kind of looking to get it out of here more than anything else. I found this, what's this, 2x2? Is that what that is?
That looks like 2x2.
So that should be like 1.5 by 1.5, I
nominal,
think. I just cut it with a handsaw. You can see I didn't even bother sanding it or anything. I just slopped it together with, I got a big bottle of wood glue in there for my wood carving projects, and so I guess it's testament to what you can do with secondhand junk.
All right. I got so many angles. This is great. This is exactly what I was hoping for.